Two minutes, guys. I've just got to change my music. Rap music. Same music every day. I need a new playlist. Yep, okay. Right, welcome to the stream, guys. Sorry I wasn't here Monday, Tuesday. I was a bit busy. You know, you've got to have a break. This is the thing with trading, you don't have to get on every day. Okay, don't need to get on every day. So another day of streaming from me, Peter Crow. Brand new channel, brand new YouTube channel, brand new social medias. I used to work for a company called Relentless. I was their educator at Relentless. I used to trade live on YouTube, and I'm back live on YouTube, but just under my own brand. So I appreciate the support. Head over to YouTube, like and subscribe to the channel. I am giving away instant funded account to one of the subscribers once I hit 100 subscribers. I'm not into buying bloody subscribers like everyone does. I can't, I'm not into that. Okay, I mean to make money. I make money from trading. That's how I make my money. I'm not bothered about the sort of other stuff, but yes, it's got to plug away in the background, so that's why it's there. So stats so far on stream. Okay, stats so far. Now, did you know the top 1% of traders worldwide, how much money they make? Well, I'm going to tell you. They make between 1 and 3%. That is it. But they make that every month, and that's the difference. So they make they average between 1 and 3%, but they average it every month. It's not like they make 20% one month and then don't make anything for the next 3 months. Okay, 1 to 3% every month, and that's the bracket I'm in. Okay, and you could be in too if you follow along. So when I started this YouTube channel, I wanted to do it on a 50k prop firm account, staying within the rules. Right, so everyone, it's affordable. 50k is affordable. It's like $180 to get one. So I wanted to start low for you, to show you what can be achieved. And these are our stats so far. So nothing's came on this unless it's been taken on stream and it's got its own YouTube link, so you can click and view the trade what we took. Nothing comes on here what hasn't been taken on YouTube. Okay, on stream, basically live streaming. Now, so these are stats so far. So September up 1%, 1% $500. Yeah. October we were up over 3%. November we were 0.5%. Okay, so not the best of months. And in December we're up nearly 3% on this account. Okay, so yeah, we're going to crack on with it, see where we are at the end of the year. Brand new year next month. So yeah, we're really smashing it. So come along, join the journey and get learning. 3 months of these streams, 3 months of these streams, and you'll be very surprised where you'll end up with your trading. Okay, where you'll end up with it with your trading. Best cups ever. This is a proper Stanley one though. Right, get yourself a brew and let's get on the charts, because I'm itching to get on. Like I say, I've been trading on Tuesday, and to be honest, I haven't even looked what's going on. What I do need to do though, I need to upgrade this account, which I still haven't got round to doing. Upgrade this with a beauty trade, look at that. Bang! 8 parts move to break even, and it just drops. Right. So we'll do a top down on NAS, we'll do a top down on gold. And we might do one on EU as well. GBP. Time to buy more. Yeah. Right, let's have a look at gold first. So, full top down on gold, guys. So the monthly, we've still got 50. We're halfway through the month now, right? Halfway through the month, and the monthly can do anything. So this can end up anything. So anywhere can flip bearish for a steeper bottom wick. It can drive and break the highs if it wants to. It can do anything. We've not had any structure. So the monthly doesn't really give us much information. So we just skip the monthly, go straight to the weekly. Now, what has the weekly done? This is interesting because I've been watching this weekly move all the way up. So we had an area here, didn't we? We had an area here for the weekly, and this was the range we were in. And we knew when we were down here, when we had that bullish one, that we should be coming up to fill the range. And that's exactly what's happened. I've been saying that for weeks. Okay. Now, the weekly has broke out. The weekly's broke out. So what range is the weekly in? Well, the weekly, only the next range, but this is not off the weekly. This is off the lower time frame. It's this area. But the weekly range for us now can be anywhere because we're all-time highs, and this makes it really difficult. But in order for us to take buys, what we would need is I would need a retest at this level on the weekly. So I'd need, to be honest with you, what we could do, we go like that. I would need a weekly retest of this zone. I mean, we were nearly there, but I've just got to make sure. Could this have been the bottom wick? Potentially. But here's the thing, it's hard taking sellers down now because, yes, we can maybe preempt a fake out back into the area. Okay. And then we can take sellers down, so you then look for a top wick and then to come down to fill the rest of the range because we'll be back in this area at that point. But until we do that, we can't really sort of take the sellers at the moment. That's why we need to see to take the sellers. In order to take the buys, we would have to look on a lower time frame to see price come down, retest this level, and then come back to the upside. We might have already had the retest here, but we'll have to look on a lower time frame. But all we know is the weekly should come down, bottom wick, and then flip to the upside. But we haven't got a target. So what's going on the daily then? So if we look at the daily range, where is the daily range? I would say this is the daily range. And then your next daily range could even be, see, these don't even tap these levels. Just check the weekly. Ooh. So tight today, guys. So I would probably say that's the daily range. So we can't really take buys unless we get a daily close above that. But then you've got another level on the daily, which is this level. So you haven't got much range to get off. So this is a bit of a tricky area on the higher time frames. But what we do know is we've had 3 candles all reject this level, and then we close bearish. Okay. Now that's 3 candles all rejecting. We haven't had a candle close bullish respecting this level. So what we've got to say is, can the body of the candles reject from here? So could this daily flip today and come back down to this level? That's what we've got to say. Is that what could happen? And if it is, then yes, we could be interested in sells. Now, if you remember the weekly zone, so this is the weekly zone, remember, where I wanted a retest of this zone. Price was close but didn't retest it. I'd need a retest of this zone, I would think, in order to take buy. So that tells us that, okay, well, if the weekly needs a retest of this zone, could the daily flip, push bearish? That's exactly what could happen here. So if the daily could flip, could we take sells? Could we identify some zones around here? And as price comes up and breaks into the next zones, retests, breaks into the next one, could we then maybe take a sell to fill the rest of the range? So the daily hasn't got a bottom wick, so I would imagine this daily to flip bearish. And if it doesn't, the next day would definitely come down for the bottom wick. then it could flip again. Okay, so price would probably have to come back to this daily level. You had such a pump up as well. I'd be surprised if this doesn't flip, but we will see. So that's the daily. It's very difficult taking buys up because we've sort of filled the range. We've already been up there. We haven't filled it with the body of the candles, but we've already been up there. And then if we flick onto the 4 hour, it's obviously created a brand new range, which is here. So this is the 4 range. Yeah. So what range are we in between the 4? So 4 and then the next 4 is probably this level here. Remember, this is my weekly target, my daily target. So if the 4 closes bearish and we get a top wick, could we just take sells down? Yeah, potentially. Potentially. We're still in that area. We haven't broke a high though. I would like it if we break the high. But yeah, that's probably all we've got. The 4 hasn't closed yet. So the 4 technically is still bullish. This 4 could flip to the upside at any point. And if it does flip, could we look at maybe getting some buys in here? Because we've now got an advantage point, because we haven't actually filled the range. And we haven't broke a high. So could we get that? I think that's what I'd prefer at the moment. Even though I said buys are difficult. What it is when you do these top downs in the higher time frames are, there's not much going on. You've got to go down to the lower time frames. But what it means is there's still setups, but it means the probability of the setups are less. That's what it means. They're less. If you have every time frame, oh my god, yeah, advantage point on every time frame, then your probability is pretty high, isn't it? Because you've got an advantage point. So could we see this 4 flip to the upside? Yes, we also could. But then I would be thinking that the daily's probably going to have a fake out there. So let's keep that in mind. In order to take sells, if the forward closes bearish and I get a top wick, we can look to take sells. Fairly straightforward. 3. See, we haven't fully tapped this. This 3 could easily flip. There's nearly 2 hours left of. Let's see what we're doing now. 2 hours left of this candle. Closed yet. It doesn't really give us much information. The 2 closed bearish. Back below support level. Then we've had a top wick. Don't think I would take sells unless the 4 closes bearish. So if this 2 is going to fake out the 1. So this is a 1 zone here. So that's a 1 level. So if this 1 could, because the 4 has only got 2 hours left of it, so that means in order for the 4 to flip, this 1 wouldn't be able to flip from here, I don't think, because that's the support level. So that means this one's likely going to close bearish. That means the next one would have to look literally like that in order for the 4 to flip. Let's fill it to it, because you need it to flip and fill the range at 4344. So could we get a 1 hour candle doing that? I don't think we could. But that would then tell me that you're probably, if you're going to get a bullish candle, you're probably going to get a small bullish candle. But that means then the forward is staying bearish and you're looking at sells. So a bit tricky at the moment.
Morning, mate.
Good morning, Andre. How are you doing?
Great, thanks. Self?
Yeah, I was just doing a top down on gold. It's not looking too nice at the moment. These all-time highs piss me off.
You mind sharing your screen?
Oh yeah. What have you got on this week, Andre?
Mixed bag. Mixed bag. Had a good run this morning on the futures challenge, so that was good.
Nice. yeah, so the 1 hour for me, so basically, Andre, the 4 could flip to the upside at any point. Hasn't fully filled the range. I can't take sells unless I get a forward close. That's in an hour and 40. And that all depends on how far this 4 pushes down. Okay. This 4 would need to close sort of below this level, I would think. Or if it doesn't, as long as you get bearish 4, I would still wait for an hour close below here. If I get an hour close below there, no, because if we look left, this doesn't do a nice, tends to fly through. Fly through. So what would that mean then? It means this hour could easily fly through. So could we just take maybe this 30 came up, drove through, 30 straight through. It'll be interesting to see how this 30 closes. The 15 actually broke out. 15 did break out. Broke out, closed back in. So if the 15 broke back in, does that mean the 30 would flip? I can't see the 30 flipping from here because it's never ever flipped from here. It's only ever flipped from there and there. So I'm not sure this 30 is going to flip from here. So that means the 30 is likely going to stay bearish. And if it stays bearish, that means the 1's going to stay bearish. But where's that 1 going to land? If you close respecting, then you think, okay, you're probably going to have to come back up. That would initiate the push up, but then you've got 1 hour left with the 4. And in order for the 4 to flip, you would need to see a 1 hour, literally, like that. I'm not sure we're going to get that. Such a big 1 hour candle. Okay, let's see maybe how the 30 is going to close. That's the next higher time frame. If the 30 close respected and I get a steep bottom wick, could potentially get a swoop entry off the 15. Because we should have an advantage point. So we'll come back to that in 9 minutes. But the timing, let's do a top down on NAS, see what NAS is going. NAS might be better. So monthly goes bearish, and the monthly candles flip now to the downside, so that's nice. We've got 15 days left of the month, so we're halfway through the month. How steep is this bottom wick going to be? That's the next question. And is it going to break the lows? Because yes, we've created a minor support, but this is just a minor support for now. Okay, it's just a minor until we get something like that and we reject again, then it becomes a prominent support. Okay, but it's just a minor. So where can this monthly go? Well, this monthly can still do anything. This monthly can still flip to the upside if it wants to. If we look, you had a bearish close there and then you flipped to the upside. Just because you get one bearish close doesn't mean price is going to start reversing. Bearish close and then price pushed. So the monthly can easily, and still got enough time to flip to the upside, so it just doesn't mean we're coming back down. So just be careful taking sells. Now what, the weekly close bearish, and a nice bearish, to be honest with you, a nice engulfing bearish. Got a bit of a gap here. So that's the weekly area there, and then where's the next range? The next range pretty difficult because we have got gaps all over the place. You could just say the bottom of there or the bottom of there. I'm gonna go like that. This is a bit messy, this one. So if we are like that and the weekly close bearish, technically where should we be coming? Well, we should be coming through to tap the bottom of the range, and then that would make sense with the monthly making a decision to drive, maybe break the lows, at least test the previous wick. So yeah, that would make sense. I would like on the weekly though a steeper bottom wick, retesting this zone, a bit like this one. So we had a bearish close, and then the new weekly opened up, tapped previous support, and then flipped to start moving down. So I would like that on this weekly candle before taking sells, and we haven't had it. But this tells me that we could get it. So we might think, okay, well the weekly should be coming down, but today and tomorrow might be all bullish to come and retest this. Then Friday flattens it. Okay. So yes, at the moment now we are like, well, we can do anything still. We can bullish and bearish. So we've got to go down the lower time frame. So what have we got here? So we had a nice close. I'll leave that there as a fake out. Back into the area. And then we've had a doji style candle. We've not had a bullish close yet, which is a shame really, because this looks pretty nice. If we have a bullish close, and we haven't. We've only had a bearish close. I think if I get a daily close above this tonight, I think I'd be interested in buys up to 257. Yeah, that would probably tell me that the weekly's coming for a steeper bottom top wick. That's what I would probably say. Now, can this weekly flip to the downside? Yes, it can. Because when you close below this level, what happens to price? Well, all of them looks like they come down and wick here. Let's turn this black. They all look like they're coming wick. So if we look at this, price came down, tapped, back into the area, tapped, and that's all we've got. That's all price has ever done. Yeah, this is what's difficult with all-time highs. You got another wick to the area. This is some sort of significant area here. I would probably say that's the range there, but this is a key area for either wing back buys or a target if you're selling down. So all I know is there's twice where we've came into this area, only twice ever. And that is here and here. That's it. Only twice have we came back into this area, and every time you came down and tapped this level. So if we know that every time well, it's only happened twice, this is the thing. So yes, it's 100% of the time, but it's only happens 100% of two. So the probability doesn't mean it's really high. It means it's actually pretty low still, really. But what else have we got to go off? So then you've got to work out, okay, is it worth the risk of taking this trade? And then you've got to work out the probability to work out what am I willing to risk on this trade. Yeah, you might not be willing to risk anything. So if, let's say, if we have to come and tap this before pushing back up, do we take a wing back buy on it? And if we're going to take wing back buy, what happens if we're wrong and price drives through? Well, here's the thing, prices never drove through without rejecting. Even if you take away that bullish candle, let me zoom in here. Even if you take away that bullish candle, price still comes down, taps and rejects to at least 24858. So that could be a go risk-free zone. Maybe take partial as well. So if we did flip to the downside, I would be interested in this wing back buy, because the weekly can still do anything, and especially if we haven't got a steep top wick on the weekly. If we push down more, if we look left, there's them weekly rejections there. So if this weekly can come and tap this level, yeah, I think I'll be interested in a wing back buy back up. We haven't broke a high as well, So I'm not sure we've got the liquidity to drive down. I think we will probably reject from there. So yeah, if we look left as well, could we maybe take the wing back sells? So when we broke below here, how hard does this go to? Well, it looks like we come to out here. Could we take a potential wing back sell from here? We'd have to look on the lower time frame, because if we are going to reject to push down, then this daily could easily come up, tap, and then flip to fill the rest of the range. Interesting. Okay, so would I take that sell? Well, we are bearish. If we flip back to the downside now, it's highly probable we're going to at least tap 24658. What's the 4 doing? Let me just mark up. It's this one, isn't it? Is it this one? No, it's this one. There's no bottom wick on this 4. No bottom wick on this 4. Can this 4 flip to the downside? The 3's heavily bullish. We've got no. 2's got no bottom wick. Goes bullish. Are we going to fake out on the 2? Can this 2 pop up? This definitely could be an option. Stops would be the high. Potential second entry on this if you do get this. It's only happened once though. But yeah, I think I'm pretty interested in win back sell, but I want to see how I would get out if I'm wrong. What is this here? Might have to go above that. If this 2 can break the highs, there's an hour and a half left. I'm going to take a sell from 25192. The thing is though, stops have to be 25337 because you can get a pop up and reject from here. So my chain of thought on this, guys, for these sells here is if you look at the dailies, twice where we've closed below here on the daily, and twice both of them came through to 24641. Before then making a decision to change direction. Okay, we haven't tapped that level yet, and it's probably something I would think we might need to tap. So if we are going to tap that, that means this daily is likely going to flip today, or can still stay bullish like this one, and then the next daily drops us. So would I be willing to put a sell on this? Yes, I would, because I do feel we probably need to come and tap this level, and then I would be interested in a buy to come back up, believe it or not. So that's what I've probably got, is an up, tap, back down to this level, at least back to this, at least, and if price wants to carry on, so be it. But if it doesn't, we could see at least these levels getting tapped again. So how do we get in then? Well, for me, getting in, Mo's got no a bottom wick. There's an hour and a half left of this 4, so I think we might get a fake out on this 4. What's my get out? That's what I need to work out. If the 4, we go. So if the 4 closes above, ideally we don't want the 4 closing above 25165. If the 4 can close respecting, fantastic. Yeah, I think I've got a win back sell on here, guys. That's what I'd be interested in. Back sells, potential second entry. I'm also going to look at, in case this 4 flips, hour and a half left of it. Because you might reject from here, and the reason being you might reject from here is because the 2 hasn't got a bottom wick. So this 2, I can actually see a fake out happening on this 2. Okay, and if that's going to happen, what is that going to look like? There's an hour and a half left of it. The 1's not closed yet. If the 1 closes doji and I break the highs, we might get in off the 1. It would just be an earlier entry, really. 30 closed doji. 15. This is going to drop from here. This is. Let's see if we can break the highs one more time, really. I don't think I can take the sellers yet unless I get an hour bearish close. If I get an hour bearish close and I get a top wick, flip, that would give the 2 hour another hour to drive down. Because we are just messing about here. Or you can take a 15 close below 25141. I think we need to break the highs one more time. Like, why didn't this one carry on driving? Why didn't that carry on driving? Well, it's because this didn't break a high. We break the high one more time, I think that'll be it. Yeah. Okay, so I've got 2 win back sells on, and these are off higher time frames, guys, like 4 hour. You can probably take it off. If the 4 closes above, it's not too much of a deal because the 4 can close back above and they still drop. And also here. So you would have to just be aware of it. I think I would still have it on. How would I get out on these? I don't know if I would. I think this would just be a case of maybe if the 4 closes above 25223. If we close above that, then we could be on something like this. We look to manage risk. Yeah. So as long as the 4 can close below 25167, that'd be fantastic. We ideally want this 4 to activate us, and then a pop down. But what you might get is new 4 opens up, breaks the high, might even pop to this, and then a flip, and then I can see a fake out on the 4. That's what I can potentially see with the next 4 hour, and that would be really nice because your target is here at least, because I'd be really interested in taking a wing back buy from there because you get a nice big rejection back up. So I would be really interested in taking a wing back buy from there. Stops for the wing back buy have to be around these levels. And we've got rejection. This pushes down to here. 2 minutes, guys. Hello. Yeah. Okay. Bye. Yeah, you could potentially have a second entry around 24538, but stops would probably have to be these down here like this. That would be a take partial move to break even. Yeah, I like this, guys. I like it. It's just a case of what you're willing to risk. So we've got wing back sells on. I'm looking at a sell from here down to there, which is a 3.5 to 1. Be nice. If we pop straight up, I'll be putting another entry on from there, and that's a 9 to 1. Okay. And then we've also got a wing back buy, which would be here. This could be all-time highs if you want, but you've got to understand that we probably just need to test the previous wick, which is here. The weekly needs top wick to there. So I'd definitely be taking over 90% or 90% out at least. Yeah. But that's what I've got there. It's just a case of, is this daily going to flip? Is this daily going to flip? One thing we've got to be careful with here is when we reject, the daily really shoots up. That's one daily candle. So we've just got to be careful whether this is new data and this is all we need to drive back up. What should we do though? I think we need to tap this level before driving up. So yeah, I am willing to put a trade on. How much am I willing to risk? I'll probably risk $150 on this first one. That's about it, I would think. Actually, wait there, because no, I think I'd be willing to risk a bit more, 0.5%, maybe 250. Be willing to risk 250 on this. Okay, so it's a case of be taking a sell from 25193. I'm gonna get this on the trade ideas. Our advantage point is the 2 hour no bottom wick. So there's a no bottom wick here, so that's where I'd be going risk free. Yeah, once you tap that, that's where I'd look to go risk free. Okay, let's get these on the trade ideas. Just get this set up. Happy with that, Andre?
State pending. And I'm going to do it on my live just for you.
Oh my god, you're pushing the board on. Wait there though, because this is not looking. Oh, that's bloody UK 100, that's why. Oh nah. The thing is with this now, we might actually get it might actually break the highs because we've already been up there. So yeah, so don't be worried because we've already had a wick up to this area. Don't be worried if we tap it, reject a bit to here, and then price makes another high to here, and then it decides to come through. Okay, so you got to understand from previous data what price can do, and then when you're going into drawdown, you're not panicking because you know it can do that. So we've sort of already had a wick there, right? So let's say this wick here is, try and get them both on the same screen. So that wick there, I would say, is this wick here. Okay. So what happens when price comes back up? We then come and tap it again. We trickle up, we tap, then we reject to here. Okay. So could we trickle up, reject, that's to around about here. Then price shoots up to here, and then price shoots down. So then you've got to make a decision, go, okay, well, if that's what price does on one of the areas, then do we not take the first wing back and do we take the second one? That's what you've got to make that decision. Because you can also tap and just plummet as well. So, What have we got here? So we broke the low, then we came back up, came all the way back up to this level, back down, then we mess about, no, not mess about, and you get this big drop through this area. So yeah, I think I'll be putting both on here, you guys. Yeah, pretty comfortable with that. It might just take a while to play out. Might be a session of drawdown, because if we take it, price needs to come up. Took how long did it take? Activate 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 hours to get to take partial move to break even. Okay, so yeah, I'm still happy with it. Hopefully we'll tap and just drop. Whether we will or not, don't know, but I'm more than happy with this, guys. I'm going to get this on the trade ideas. 25193. So my stops for this would be 25337. 25337. Hopefully we can pop straight up that second entry. Two, 5, 3, 3, 7. Which is okay, lovely. And then second entry. Wow. $250. Close that again, activate as well. This is, I don't think this is going to be a tap and drop, guys. This is going to be a longer, fortunately. So I might even leave you guys with this till tomorrow. So the stops here. 7, 2, 5, 6. Now check your MT4 though, because my MT5 is different to this. Okay, so make sure that your stop loss is around this area. Okay. jubbly. So we've got 100 on that and 200. I've got $300 risk on the whole thing. Okay, $200 risk on the first one, and then the second entry would be the same lot size, and that'd be 100. So $300 risk on this whole trade. Okay, take partial move to break even is here at 25102, and then my full TP is 24660. Well, have a wing back buy. Okay, so that's what I've got. I'm just gonna get this on the trade ideas. Now, our get out of this actually could be if the daily closes bullish above here, 25165. If the daily closes above there, we'll look to manage risk and get out of the trades. It's the 4, doesn't it? Yeah, because the four's a tricky one. The two areas we're interested in, the 4 closes respecting, but this 4, this is another area, breaks out, closes there, and then this 4 breaks out, closes there. So the 4 can actually close right at 25233. So I don't think you can go off the 4. So the only next time frame we've got really is the daily. The daily closes above, we can look to get out. But yeah, that's what I've got going on, guys. Full TP is, I'll put this green as well so you know this is a TP. This is a, what is this? Two, 5, 1, 9, 3. Stop loss would be 2. 2 is 2, 4, 6, 7, 2. Just go 3 flat. Good idea. The second entry. Which would be, second entry would be 25267, 25267, 20. TP move to break even on the second one would be the entry of the first one. 2, 5, 1, 3. T. Lovely. So there's my trade ideas, guys, for this one. I want to see if the 4 is going to flip. Might not flip, doesn't have to flip, but if it is going to flip, fantastic, can it take us with us? But this is mainly off that when we've closed below this level, we've never drove up without coming to tap this 24660. That's it. That's what it's off. Probability wise, yes, it's lower than usual because we're all-time highs. This is all we've got to go off, really. So yeah, I've also got a wing back buy. I'm gonna have a wing back buy from here. talk about that shortly. So yeah, can we get activation? The price can come up. Let's check gold again, see what the gold is doing. Look at the one now. Ooh, interesting. Daily, good flip. The 4 is pulling back. How is the 1 going to close? So if this 1 closes bullish, and I can get a steep bottom wick, might have buys up, but the 2 is currently, well, there is a support level around there, but it hasn't closed at it, which puts me off again. But the 4 could flip at any point, the 3 could flip at any point. If the 3 is going to flip though, let's say I'm here. 3 is going to flip. The 2 would have to look like that. Could we see a 2 do that? I'm not sure. Maybe that. Sure, just be careful with this at the moment, guys. This is a bit tricky. Because the 15 must have faked out then. So the 15 did, faked out, back in, then closed bearish. Ooh, this is tricky. Be careful with this, guys. Be careful. I'll be back in a minute. We'll come back, we'll have a look. Let's get something else. We have sell limits on. Put this back on NAS for now. Look at this here. What are you doing? It broke the high. This is what I'm saying, it could go from here. Because the 2 could easily fake out for us. And we need this advantage point. I think if... Yeah, this is the 1, isn't it? I think the 1 would be closing bearish. Okay. We just gotta hope that we're not on this. Okay. We'll see. Oh, that 15 though. Okay, I will be back in a second, Andre.
A check for $10 million for acting services rendered, and I gave myself 5 years, or 3 years maybe, and I dated it Thanksgiving 1995. Just before Thanksgiving 1995, I found out that I was going to make $10 million in dollars.
Choose your fighter. Lightning inspired. Fight.
Okay, I'm not convinced on that. Bearish close is the move, so that's a good sign. Yes. Okay. So a lot of gold. I'm not liking gold at the minute. I think we need to see if this 4 is going to flip. We need to see what this 4 is going to do. This 3 can easily flip to the upside, but I just can't get in on it because the 4 might stay bearish, and if the 4 stays bearish, I'll be more interested in the sells down. Close bullish, bottom wick. Just be very careful here, guys. Gold's not for me at the moment. I need to see what the 4 does. Touchy you as well. I think this is all I've got. I think, guys. But the thing is, this might not tap. This might not tap and drive. It might, like I said, could pull back, come back up for another high. I think we're going to mess about here before the drop, but I do still think we're going to drop. I think we have to. I think we've got to drop to at least 24660. It's just a case of when. Just thinking it might not be worth staying on because this might take ages. I think the sell limits, no, I've just got the sell limit. So so the way I do this, right, this is what I will say to you is, 2 entries. First entry, this is where we know price can tap and drop. So it sort of can drop from here, but looking at previous data, it might mess about. But if we do pop straight through, and then we take this second entry with the same lot size, so again, target's the same. So the way I do my second entries is, let's say I'm risking 0.5% on here, okay, which is $250. Which I'm not, I'm risking $200. But let's say you're risking 0.5% on this. You use the same lot size on the second entry, and if price does pop up, you take the second entry, and then you've got decisions to either get out if you don't like the trade. You only need a pullback to there to close both at break even, or it's just a better entry. If price pushes down, you could then close this at break even if you wanted to. Go risk free on the second one and take partial, and there you're in the trade with a better entry. Okay, but if I'm risking 0.5% on this, I use the same lot size on this, so this is now half, so this will be 0.25 risk. Okay, so then overall 0.7.5 risk we've got on this. That's what it would be. Is that right? Yeah. It's funny when people say, oh, you need to be good at maths, don't you? So yeah, that's how I do my second entries. I like a second entry because you can get out if price does push up and you think, oh, the higher time frames close a certain way. I only need a pullback to there and I'm out at break even. Price wants to carry on. So be it. Well, yeah, that's all I've got, guys, and we just might mess about. Let me see if there's news today.
Nothing today, really. I don't know.
Nothing. What about tomorrow?
It's Thursday. Yeah, tomorrow. Yes, no, wait, it's
That's
Thursday.
CPI.
Yes, CPI. Yeah.
Yeah, that's probably all I've got really, Andre. It's there's probably no point even staying in the charts, because even if the 4 closes above, you'd still keep the trade on.
Mm-hmm.
We're going off the daily. If the daily closes above here, I look to manage risk and get out. But what I'm expecting, if we look at the dailies, we're still bearish. We did close bearish, but doji style. Okay. We didn't tap that zone. I'm going off these 2 areas, that's it. The only 2 areas I can go off really, this one and this one. So, and all I know is the daily doesn't close bullish, but if the daily does close bullish above there, it tends to be driving like that. But what is the difference to this and ours? Well, this one came and tapped this level. We haven't tapped it. So if we do get this big pump up and we come straight through stops, it just means new data. That's it. Which you can print new data because it's only happened twice, remember? It's only happened twice. So this is where you've got to work out, okay, what you're willing to risk. I'm willing to risk $300 on this. So I've got a $300 risk across both trades. First one's 200, second one's 100. So yeah, if the daily closes above there, that's where I look to get out. But other than that, what I'm expecting off this daily is, I'm expecting a flip today. I'm expecting a top wick, and then I'm expecting a flip to come through. That's what I can see happening today. Nice big long wick like that. Can you see that happening today, Andre? That is the question.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I got in a trade the other day. It was earlier this week, and I just got tapped out, and then it went and it reached my ultimate target, which would have been a beauty of a trade.
I hate ones like that. So,
yeah.
At least you know you're right, but when it
Exactly. You know, it's like, okay, cool. My targets are right. Analysis is right. Okay, that's awesome. And even when my stop loss bigger than originally, you know,
yeah,
like yeah, it's all fine. You know, it's all good. It's all good.
and the ones I do sort of, well, I'm not, because once I leave here, that's it. I don't think about Forex. But when you've got a wing back area and price misses you by like a pip
Yeah.
or 2 pips,
Oh yes.
that's like, oh, and then it drops through the floor, and you're like,
Yeah.
what? So this one's a bit of a tricky one here because you've had a nice bearish close back in, but the difference is this time you had a bearish close back in here, but the difference with this one now is you broke a high.
Yeah.
This broke this high. Didn't break this high, but broke that high. So this could actually be the move down.
Yeah.
So
if it reaches our take partial area, then we just delete it.
Probably delete it, yeah.
The 5, 102, yeah.
Yeah. Because that's your advantage point.
Yeah.
And you don't want to do that. But if you look at like the 5s, like we're really struggling. We're in a zone here on the 5, so I'll do these. You've got this level here, and then you're sort of bouncing in between these two, aren't you? The 2 red zones. So in order to break out of one, what do you need the opposite side? Well, you need a breakout on the other side to grab liquidity, but this has broke above this, so now are we saying, okay, well, we now could break out? Is that enough? I'm not sure it's enough. This is the thing. Normally if you get a big push out and then a fake out on a higher time frame back in, then that's enough liquidity now to push straight through this zone. That's what will tend to happen. That's sort of what we want happening here. We want price to consolidate. Fantastic, fantastic. And then what it'll do, it'll push one way, and then it'll push the direction it needs to go, the opposite. So let's say we need to go down, it will then push out, and we know it can come all the way to our second entry, and then it'll come the opposite. That's the liquidity grabbing in order to bring it to the downside. So that's what I'm after today. It's just a case of how long is it going to take. It can take hours, and this trade's still valid until the daily closes bullish, or we come down and tap 25140. Wait, let me have that up, because I think you can do that. Yeah, so if you look at this one, where's close back down to 25109. We can actually pull back down to here. So we sort of don't want to be breaking this level, really. Let's see where we're at. Oh yeah, which is so what we'll do is, it's because that's the advantage point of the 2. You've got no bottom wick to 2. No. Yeah, so if you push to our take partial to break even, I just delete. There you go. That's what I would do.
Cool.
I was getting mixed up with this one.
Alright, mate, I gotta shoot off as well.
Yeah,
so,
I'm gonna call it as well. There's no point
I'll
staying on.
try and see you tomorrow if you're on.
Yeah. Okay, mate. I'll catch you later on. Have a good day, mate.
Cool. Cheers, buddy.
Toodaloo.
Bye.
Okay, guys, there's no point me staying on. We've got 2 sell limits on NAS ready. If the daily closes above 25168, we're going to delete. Or if price comes down to 25102, then we're going to delete also. Okay, but that's all I've got going on today. There's no point staying on, because this could be a longer time frame trade. There's nothing else lined up for us. I'll be back on tomorrow at 8 AM, so I'll catch you later. Have a fantastic day. See you later, guys.